Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have a whole bunch of Ipsy Boxycharm subscription box items that I haven't tested yet. And we're going to basically do a first impressions with things out of the premium box, the base box. We've got Ipsy, we've got pretty much everything. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe because I upload every other day. That'll be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to jump into a full first impressions tutorial review of a whole lot of subscription box items, stay tuned. Alright, so I did already prep my skin with the Oil and Pore Control Mattifier SPF from Murad, which I've already told you in my Ipsy unboxing, which I'll link up above. Love, adore, obsessed, amazing. And with that, we're going to then jump into my base. Now I'm really feeling lightweight, so I'm going to use the Ilia Serum Super Serum Skin Tint today. I have not used this in quite some time, but I'm going to grab a brush and we're going to start applying it with a brush. And I do have a sponge ready in case I want to switch to another means of application. Now, when I first put it on, it always, every time I use this, looks a little light. But as I blend it in, because it's oil-based, it does darken slightly. So for me, I actually do find it to be a pretty good match for me, but it's one of those things where I can't judge the color it is when it first hits my skin because I will definitely think it is way too light. Next, going in with a tiny bit of concealer. This is the Fenty Beauty, which has for a long time been one of my favorite concealers. Definitely not one where you need a ton of product. It is a little on the thicker side, so I like to work quickly and really blend it in nice and fast. All right, jumping into the next subscription box item from Dominique Cosmetics. This is the Soft Pink Cream Blush, and it is a really pretty color. I'm going to go right into the Beauty Blender with this one, and I'm going to go pretty heavy on the cheeks because I am going to end up putting a setting powder down on top of this. So I do want to make sure that there's enough blush on that after I set it down, I can still see it. But it is a very pretty color, but you will notice I am going in with a little bit of a heavy application just because this is, again, going to get set down. Very pretty color. Just going to switch to the other side of the sponge and blend it in. It's adding some beautiful luminosity. Like the cheeks are very glowy, dewy, super rosy. All right, I'm going to prep my eyes, throw on my brows, and put a light veil of setting powder on, and I'll be right back. All right, and now that that's done, I still have the blush kind of showing through the cheeks, but it's not quite as intense as it was before I used some powder. I am going to grab the bronze from, this is the bronzer from Viseart that came in last month's Boxycharm. I'm going to take that on, this is a Rare Beauty. It's actually a setting powder brush, but I really like it when I have this like soft amount of product. And I really just want a very soft bronzer application because I can really just add a tiny bit and give myself some sculpt and definition without it going too intense. I did already use this. This product is not a first impressions, but I do really like the way that it goes on. And this brush is very quickly becoming one of my favorite bronzer brushes because it just effortlessly diffuses everything. All right, I think we can skip highlight. The next thing I'm going to use, these came out of this month's Boxycharm. It is the Eloise brush set with the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism eyeshadow palette. And I think we're going to go for something a little rose goldy and pinky today because that's kind of the vibe I'm feeling. So I'm going to start off with this fluffy brush. They don't have numbers on them, but it's the fluffy one. And I'm going to start with the shade right here, Cherry Blossom, the soft pink. So I'm going to take that on one side of the brush. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm just going to pat that into the crease area. And once the product is down, I will blend. All right, and that's a very light color. So now that that's in place as a transition shade, I'm going to go into the Packer brush. We're going to go into the shade right here, Apricot, which is a nice warm toned brown. I'm going to get quite a bit of that on the end of the brush, and I'm going to pat that under what we just did and then buff that into the crease. Whereas the last color we did on top of the crease, I want this one to be underneath. Also, my eyes are kind of hooded, so as I blend, you'll notice I lift my head up. This is so that I have no folds in my eye, and I can really make sure that I'm getting the color where I want. Switching to the next brush with a tiny bit of that first color, we're just going to blend the edges. All right, so these brushes are not quite as firm as I would like them to be, so I'm going to switch to the brushes I already know I like, because these ones I'm not loving. And I'm going to grab those same colors mixed together on a brush that I like and just kind of fix this because I'm not loving the way it's blending. All right, that's much better. I was about to blame the eyeshadow palette, and it was absolutely the brush. So if that doesn't tell you, you got to make sure you've got tools you like, then I don't know what it does. All right, that is much better. We're getting some blend, we're getting some definition. I'm going to keep it in the warm tone family, so I'm going to go into Bloom for You, this dark plummy brown, and I'm going to take a very small amount and I'm going to just add it to the very bottom of my outer corner, as close to the lash line as I can get, and then gently pack it up a little bit just to add a little bit of smoke and definition. I said I wanted to go pinky, and this is very quickly turning into a purple smoky eye. And that's going to look a little messy until we add the lid color, and then it'll all come together. I'm going to go right in the very center of the palette, the shade Sam, and I'm going to grab that on a flat shadow brush. I am going to give it a quick mist with some setting spray, and I'm going to pack this on the lid. Once I lay down the first color, I like to take a little bit more of that same shade dry, and I will actually press that into the wet eyeshadow that we just put on. And that's going to set it down, lock it in, and add even more of that shimmering color. Going back into that other brush, I'm going to slightly diffuse the edges, and then I'm going to take a tiny bit more of that dark plum, and I'm just going to pat where those two colors mix together. See, it looks beautiful. This is my colors. All right, I'm going to do this on this side, put a little bit of probably a brown eyeliner in the waterline, and I'll be right back. All right, eyes match, and there's a tiny bit of brown liner. I'm going to start with the pencil brush from earlier, and I'm going to take that dark, dark purpley brown and go very close to the lash line, just to kind of set everything down. Then switching to a slightly larger pencil brush with that apricot shade, I'm going to blend that over it and a little bit underneath. And with the first shade and the largest brush, I'm going to just buff that all the way around and connect that to the upper corner of the outer lid, just so we have some continuity and it looks like one eyeshadow look, not the top of the eye and the bottom of the eye. It always looks pretty funky when you have a bold eye look on and no lashes or mascara. So I'm going to curl my lashes quickly and we're going to jump into mascara. This is the Beauty for Certain mascara. This came in my Boxycharm this month. It's got a really nice hourglass wand and I want to try it. Right off the bat, I really like what that's doing. I am going to take a second coat just to comb through that because I'm getting quite a bit of curl and length, but not a ton of volume, which I do prefer if I'm going to get anything out of mascara. I prefer length and curl. Oh, but that's beautiful. Yeah, after the second coat, that looks really nice. And I don't even think I'm going to put on any false lashes today. I'm going to do this on this eye and I'll be right back. All right, now that the mascara's on, we are ready for lip. I'm going to start with the Beauty for Real. This is the neutral lip liner. And this is hands down my favorite lip liner of all time. And I'm going to line my lips. Now I don't overline a ton with that, just enough to give myself some shape. And I'm going to go into the matching lipstick. This is in the shade All In. It is a little bit lighter, but enough that it is the perfect nude for me. And because I'm Team Gloss, especially in the summer, I'm going to grab the Vamagus Rose Infused Lip Oil. They came with two. I actually don't like those colors. I'm just kidding. I mean, I like those colors, just not for what I have on today. Instead, I'm going to grab, I want something pinker. I'm going to go into this one. This is from House Labs. This is the Lariat Lip Gloss in the shade Blaze. It is definitely more on the pink side, and I'm going to add this on top. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of feel like this needs a lash, but I have no desire to put lashes on today, so I'm going to skip it. Final thoughts looking at this. I really love the eyeshadow palette. I think I definitely went a little on the bolder side with the darker colors, but you can definitely get something a little bit more natural out of this. It is such a universal nude palette, 10 out of 10. The mascara is the product that I think wowed me the most. I am so used to like trying mascaras and absolutely hating them, that the fact that this one actually looks really nice on my lashes means definitely a win. I am super particular on lashes, and this is a really good mascara. I think the blush is nice. I think that like right now that everything's done, it's a little understated on the cheeks. Like I feel like I could have gone more with the blush or bronzer, but I still like the way everything looks. My skin is nice and hydrated and glowy. Loving the lip combination. It's like the perfect nude for me. And all in, I think this was a pretty good batch of products. Actually, that's not true. I did not like the brushes. Those are going to be a pass from me. Anyway, those are going to be my final thoughts on everything we tried today. As always, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.